you guys don't want, he'll keep it on me, not on you guys. Yeah.
I'm not in that part.
Yeah, no. So anyway, yeah, so I feel like, I'm 61. I feel like my story actually starts in previous generations. Both my grandparents were raised in the boarding school. And my birth mom was raped at 14 and gave birth to me at 15. And I just last year found out who my biological father was just through the ancestry DNA. And he had passed away. And I just like, you know, you always struggle with identity when you're adopted. You don't really know your place in this family, like this is your family, but they're not your family. And so I've always struggled with identity, like who I am. Because I didn't look like my family, I didn't act like my family. Actually, my adopted family was very much like a boarding school experience where I had a lot of physical abuse. I was sexually abused from the time I was probably around 8 years old by my adopted brother. And I didn't have anybody to talk to, I didn't have anybody to turn to. If I had told my adopted mom that he was hitting me, which he did on a daily basis, she would say, well, you probably deserved it. My adopted father was very much distant. He would travel a lot, and I honestly, he didn't want to be in that marriage, and he stuck there because his dad told him to stay there. And so we're living in this household where it was just dysfunction. But on the outside, we'd look at us, we'd go to church, Catholic church, and you know, we'd walk in and we'd look normal on the outside, but on the inside, there was just so much dysfunction that was going on. When I was 15, I became pregnant by my adopted brother, and I had my son and put him up for adoption. And so when you go through these kind of experiences, like you don't have anybody to talk to, you just feel alone, you feel isolated, you don't have a family that's really your family to even go to, because you just always feel like you don't belong, you don't fit in. So after I gave birth to my son, I placed him up for adoption. And then I just put on the band-aids of sex, drugs, and alcohol as often as I could. It was the 80s, it was very much a normal thing to do. But on the inside, every time that I would get drunk, I would sleep with somebody. It didn't matter who. I mean, I was always constantly trying to find that somebody to fill that hole for me. Like, I want to feel loved, I want to feel valued, I want to feel wanted, and it was always looking and then the next day you'd be like, you know, that shame and that guilt, and honestly, you know, men are, no offense to you, but there's a lot of guys out there that's all they want is they just, you know, just to use you and discard you and just move on to the next person. And honestly, you just give a piece of your soul away every time that happens. And I mean, it happened over and over and over again. And it's just the insanity of even that kind of addiction too, where you just keep thinking, oh, this next person will change, this next person will change. And by the grace of God, I ended up getting pulled over for a DWI at 23 and went to alcohol information school, and it was honestly like this light bulb turned on that I was an alcoholic. But honestly, it gave me something to work with, because I just thought I was a messed up person, which I was, but it kind of gave me something to work with. So I started going to AA.
You guys be moving across to the next door.
Okay, we're moving now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. We're gonna talk.